Express yourself.
This is Express Yourself. We're here again with Sijo Abdul Alim, talking a little bit about how formative the martial arts were in his growing up years, in his youth. What impact do you think the martial arts have in the youth of today?
Well, it depends on the individual youth, and it also depends on the instructor that's giving the information to that individual youth. If it's a good instructor who has good morals, and has a good relationship with his art, as he passes it on to the youth, that youth will become better than that instructor in moral character, martial arts, and the impact that it would have on that youth is great, very phenomenal. And that youth will pass that on to another youth or to a classmate, and the impact would be great.
Mm-hmm.
When I was young, training and getting involved into the martial arts, both of my instructors, Vernon Bolton and Jose Foy, Sifu Jose, Grandmaster Sifu Jose Foy and Grandmaster Vernon Bolton, both of their instructions to me as a youth was pertinent. It was very important in my life. Now, how I took it and what I did with it after I received it was not their fault. It was my fault. I believe I as far as the martial arts world that I was involved in, I believe my character was very good and I had very good morals, and still do today.
How do you plan to perpetuate yourself in your practice of the martial arts and pass it on to the younger generation?
The youth that's in my world, that's in my environment, the environment that I'm in, and their youth that are involved in the environment I'm in, not too many of them participate in the martial arts. But the moral character and the good standard of being a good person and a good Muslim, a God-fearing person to the best of my ability, I believe I can implement that part to them. Even though a lot of them know that I do martial arts, a lot of them I watch grow up, and their parents I watch grow up. However, a lot of them know my skill level. A lot of them know me for being a no-nonsense type of person when it comes down to them behaving themselves and having good character and having good morals and trying to be the best Muslim they can be. A lot of them know me as playing with them, putting them in arm locks and chokeholds, and in return they might sneak up on me or something. And I believe that's their way and my way of giving them instruction and defending themselves and them receiving it instead of a formal class.
Okay, so in another segment you talked about a kid on your block, D-Roy. You had a number of people who were influential, like on your level, some of your peers that sort of helped you form who you were as a martial artist. Were there any other people?
Yeah, a person by my classmate, one of my classmates, two of my classmates, and this is interesting. One of my classmates, he lived 4 doors away from me. His name is Dennis Morgan. Dennis Morgan was older than I. He also trained with Mr. Bolton and I. However, Dennis, the way that he took the instructions from Grandmaster Bolton was different than I. At that point, Dennis took the martial arts because he was hanging with Mr. Bolton. He had a thing about always wanting to compete and be better than me, or to show that he can do what I can do, or to show that I'm your old head and this is what you'll never defeat me in anything. And this became a very satisfactory martial artist. He was a fair martial artist. The impact that he had on me was to learn to not do some of the things that he did. And it's real honest. Whether it's no disrespect to Dennis, because Dennis has grown to be a very fabulous man today. Another student and peer of mine, it's funny, my instructor Jose Ford had a lot of friends. He had a friend by the name of Josh. Josh was 6'7". He weighed about 285, 295. And he moved like a gazelle. And he played football in the Marine Corps, or the Army. And Josh worked at the meat packing plant. And Josh and I became very good friends. He was my instructor's student / martial art partner, because Josh wrestled. He wrestled. And Josh had a front kick. Just imagine someone 6'7", 280-something pounds, and move like he's 190 pounds. And throwing a front kick and sliding off the front leg, not stepping and throwing it, like just sliding off the front leg and throwing it. Size 13, 14 foot in a pair of track sneaks in a field. I'm 16, I'm 23. And Josh is 29. And the first time I got hit with it, I got hit in my chest. I had a chest protector on. The chest protector that the catchers in baseball wear, I had it around my chest, and he caught me with it. And he must have knocked me about 4 or 5 feet. Boom, and I had a bruise on my tailbone. It was painful. It scared me. I've never been hit like that before. So for quite a bit, the impact of Josh and the impact of my instructor put me in there on that field with Josh, running, kicking a soccer ball, and after that, sparring with Josh, with headgear, body gear, getting hit, getting thrown, like really like getting hit and grabbed and thrown in judo throws, and wrestling moves, and played a real impact on me as him being my peer and my instructor being my instructor. And it put the bruises and the roughness of competition and combat on my body, and physically and mentally. Roughness, it prepared me to deal with something like that. And Josh was a good man. Josh was in the Navy. Now I came back. He was in the Navy. And he was a good man. And he helped me develop getting away from that front kick. I mean, and also taught me how to throw a front kick like that as well. How to apply it. Not with the ball of the foot, not with the head, with the palm of the foot, the whole foot, placing the whole palm of the foot on the chest or in the face or on the hips. The last peer, which is kind of funny, My instructor had a student by the name of Eric. Eric was my size, dark skin, feisty. I never met Eric. Always heard about him. My instructor had a cookout one day in upstate Jersey. At his mom's house, a big house, he had a cookout. And it was a lot of his friends and moms and brothers and some of his classmates, some of my classmates. They came in and got me. I never forget Charmaine's daughter came in and got me and said, Steve, they sparring in the back, So I go in the back. And, everybody was out there sparring, a couple of classmates. And this dude was running amok. Him and some other cats, that I never met. That wasn't our classmates, just friends. So, people pushing me on. Wait, so make a long story short, we got out there and we sparred. Next day, I see my instructor standing in the doorway of the back door. And he's watching. I see Josh watching, Charmaine watching, and me and this boy, we mixing it up. We getting in there. And no one could touch no one. And it got to the point that he got angry and I got angry, and that's me stepping in. And Jose stepped in and he stopped, broke it up. And what was funny was that he taught us the same thing. But it was on reverse sides. If I would do something like this, he would do it like this or like that. It was different. It's hard to explain. I have to show you. And it was like reverse. So we was getting to the point, people was breaking us up. No, y'all classmates. And a lot of the other classmates knew him and knew me, but didn't know that we didn't know each other. And they're like, he ain't my classmate. I don't know you chumping. Me and Jose was like, Eric, this is Steve, this is Eric, and we stopped. He said, I heard a lot about you. I said, I heard a lot about you too. But you still can't beat me. You can't beat me. And Eric originally was a Hapkido exponent, a Hapkido practitioner. Very good legs. Very, very good legs. Fast, quick, tricky. Kept me on my toes.
So how do you think your family then impacted you as far as the martial arts?
They didn't. Besides my sister Serena, which they called at the time God's sister, but my sister Serena, she was the only one that played a major impact and contributed to and helped me within my martial arts. My uncles took it on to be a fad. They thought it was a joke, that it was something I was just dibbling, dabbling, and playing with. My uncle Ben, he thought it was a joke. I wasn't serious or nothing like that, My sister played a very vital part in me growing up as a martial artist. She pushed me, as her being a martial artist herself, she pushed me to continue to do what I liked and to do what I wanted to do. Matter of fact, I studied martial arts as a child because of my dad. But as I got older, I did martial arts overtime in the dojo to stay away from my house, to stay away from the physical, mental, and verbal and abuse that was being placed upon me at the time. My family could care less of what I did. My family, when I got in my middle 20s, in my late 20s, when they finally start hearing my name when it came to them, when the Creator willed for them to hear my name, through maybe friends of theirs had children or nephews in the martial arts, and they came to my Uncle Jimmy one time, a guy that he used to bowl. My Uncle Jimmy was a very famous bowler. And he came to me one time and he said, let me ask you a question. He said, you still do that karate stuff? I'm like, martial arts? Yeah. He said, I have a friend whose children are into the martial arts. And he came and asked me, do I have a nephew or cousin or brother, anybody by the name of Stephen Yates? And he said, yeah, it's my nephew. He said, do you know your nephew is well known in the martial arts in Philadelphia? And, you know, basically in Jersey and New York. And he was like, he used to do it when he was a kid, you know. And then he asked me, you know, and I said, yeah, I've been doing this, still doing it.
Has your sister kept up like you have? Kept up with it?
My sister is old, still beautiful.
Did she used to whoop up on you when you were young?
Huh?
Did she used to whoop up on you when you were young?
Yes. I learned a lot from getting beat by her. My sister was brutal in the heart. My sister taught me how to fight, period. You know, she could fight. She was a tomboy at the time. Used to run home scared. One day, ran home and the door was locked and couldn't get in. She never like, open the door. She said, I'm opening the door when you go out there and fight that boy. I never was a fighter, man. And I was forced to fight. And then when I found out I could fight and found out how to apply certain skills, and I liked to fight. I liked to fight. And yes, my sister played an impact on me being a martial artist. She played a very strong impact. She always pushed me to do what I needed to do as a martial artist and what made me happy. No matter what anybody thought or said about me. She's a good sister. And a dangerous martial artist. A dangerous taekwondoist. Very dangerous.
So that's a lot of people that you knew growing up. How about people that you saw like secondhand? Were there people that influenced you beyond your instructors? Beyond my
instructors, Rodney Nobles. Young Tiger Rodney Nobles. Yeah, the quickest legs I've ever seen. Pumped 3-4 kicks at one time. On the same leg. Howard Woodley, who beat Nasty Steve Anderson, but is not mentioned. He beat Nasty Steve Anderson, which is not mentioned. That's the prejudice, the political mumbo jumbo politics of the martial arts. It was hothead, the quickest gung fu man I've ever seen in my life.
You just mentioned politics of the system. What do you mean by that? What all have you seen in that regard?
Man, politics in the martial arts is a bunch of nonsense. And you have a lot of people who play political games in the martial arts. I belong to this society. It's this club. You got to get this to be known. If you ain't in this crowd, you won't get known. If you don't take up this system or be hooked up with this instructor, you won't get. Man, that's mumbo jumbo. This is like the same as with their president, going for president or mayor. Or, it's the political mumbo jumbo. It's about, I put in $50 million in this, so they're going to put me in the Hall of Fame. I don't care about no damn Hall of Fame. How many of you dudes that's in the Hall of Fame actually fought in the ghetto? For life survival. Like people like Roberto Duran, a great boxer. They used to call him Hands of Stone. You know how he came up? He had to fight in the streets of Panama for a piece of meat. You understand what I'm saying? To eat, to get a piece of meat to take to his family, share with his brothers and sisters, to eat. So he fought for that. To then to take him from the streets and put him in the ring and turn it into what he doing to a sport, he made out well. I'm not a sport fighter. I fight for real. I fight to defend myself, my family, my religion. I'm not into politics and martial arts. I think it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Those who are into it, go ahead, fine, happy, go ahead. It's a lot of martial artists who I know today inside houses and apartments and different cities who are great martial artists. Who will run circles around these quote unquote, some of these so-called Hall of Famers, those who paid to be in the Hall of Fame, not paid with their body in the streets or on the real dojo floor for real. You have dojo martial arts, you have street martial arts. I'm a street boy. I can hang with those in the dojo. I'm a street man. In the streets, there's no rules.
So if there were like top 10 of people, you're starting to list off people off the top of your head. Can you think of like 5 or 10?
Besides my instructors?
A list, yeah, besides your instructors.
Tanwir Sahib, Professor Tanwir Sahib. Great martial artist. Grandmaster John McClure. Ozzy Wright. So many. JC from Vita Sana. You have greats like Dr. Powell, Thomas the Puppet, Grandmaster Gregory Purefoy from Philadelphia, Sensei Thor, Abdul Hadi, probably name more than 10, Malik Aswad. Mikhail Aswad, who was one of my students.
What makes them so great?
Their character. When they do their martial arts, their character exemplifies their martial arts. It highlights their martial arts. It makes their martial arts stand out more. They have great character, great instructors. And when they instruct, they take their time and give you the lineage of where it came from, why they did it this way, and the proper way of doing it. You don't become a beat up person, a uki, where they just beat you up. You know what I mean? No, they're pleasant while they're performing, teaching, and while they're not performing and teaching. These are African American martial artists who are good folks, good martial artists who never got the real recognition they supposed to have gotten. But then again, what recognition are they supposed to get except from their peers, except from their students?